course, I think they strengthened in certain areas. But I think that's a reflection of what happened at the weekend also with the Palace game. I think everybody was looking at that thinking, oh, Liverpool need to strengthen in the centre-back position. Ultimately, they've got the best centre-half in the league, pretty much in world football, Virgil van Dijk. The harbit is Canate with 1 year to go. I think that's a tough one also. Do they want to go through that scenario that they've just had with Virgil and Mo Salah? Again, I'm not too sure. So if they can get someone else in and bolster that position, then look, I think they'll be solid. Then they are solid all over the pitch, and Liverpool are the team to beat. And clearly, look, going off what they did last year, yes, you can put a tick by their name that they was brilliant. But for me, they are the team to catch.
Well, the voice note there said that the biggest challenge will be Manchester City and Arsenal. On Arsenal, they were the closest challengers last season. They've strengthened in attack. Noni Madueke has come in, but of course Victor Gyökeres, that number 9, they've strengthened elsewhere as well, like Zubimendi, for instance, in their central midfield. Will those signings be enough to maybe take them above Liverpool?
I think the biggest one has been highlighted, and it's Gyökeres, because he's come in and it's what Arsenal have been crying out for a while. Everybody's been saying if they get a number 9 in, then that can take them over the line to win the title. But there's pressure on them. Noni Madueke moving from Chelsea to Arsenal. It'd be interesting to see how he fits into the dynamic. And Zubimendi in midfield, does that free up Odegaard and Rice going forward? The Arsenal have still got the gap to make up. Yes, they finished second the last 2 years. They've still got a gap to make up to get across the line. And with their number 9, maybe they can do it this year. Who knows? Yeah,
they've also at the back, Christian Mosquera has come in, Kepa Arrizabalaga has come in. You'd imagine to challenge David Raya. And Christian Norgard brings experience in midfield, along with Zubimendi as well. So that's Arsenal. But Manchester City, not as many people are backing Manchester City as they usually do. How dangerous is that?
Very. I don't think you can ever write off Manchester City, Pep Guardiola. I think that the quality they have is phenomenal. They have it from all areas. I just think when the number 9 is performing, he's arguably the best centre forward in world football. The number 9, he's phenomenal. Look, when he come over, the numbers that he rolled out was incredible. We haven't really seen that in the Premier League before. So if they can get him back on side and putting the ball in the back of the net, they've all set it up. Man City, you can never write them off, let's be honest. They have quality in every single area.
Well, we've been chatting. Shall we start the debate then and be joined by a couple of fans here? We've got Liverpool finalist Montel Bowen and Arsenal finalist Christian Ty. They join us now. Right, good morning to both of you. Montel, we better start with you. Make your case for why your team is going to win the league.
Well, the really quick answer is that we are the reigning champions. And of course, in the Premier League era, Liverpool haven't retained the trophy before. But, you know, Liverpool, aka Big Business FC, because we've changed our ways now and finally invested in the club heavily, which is, again, something that we haven't seen maybe since like 17, 18, I'd say. I feel like this is the first time as a fan in a while we can say that big money has been invested. The expectations are heavy, but I feel like the players are relishing that now. I feel like the players like Florian Wirtz, Ekitike, or Ekitike is his actual name, but Ekitike has come in, and you can see in pre-season what he's all about. You can see what Florian Wirtz is all about. And for me, I couldn't see why Liverpool shouldn't win the league. If we were able to do it the traditional way, you know, build the squad, you know, and win it without spending, then why can't we win it with flying colours while spending? And I know money doesn't equal, there isn't a direct correlation, but the expectation's there now. And I think now that the players have won as well, they've got that winning mentality. Even the new players that have come in that haven't won anything from Liverpool per se, like, again, they have that winning mentality now. And winning trophies, I feel like, breeds that mentality to go and win more trophies. And why not? We got the king. Virgil's re-signed. You know, obviously, unfortunately, one Alex has left, but hopefully maybe in a few weeks, if we're lucky enough, another Alexander will join. So,
yeah, you'll be hoping for that. Christian, are you not Big Business FC as well, though, at Arsenal?
Look, we've done good business in recent years. Arteta's definitely had money to spend. I don't think there's kind of an excuse that he hasn't. But I think looking at this summer, I think we've done the business that we've needed to do and that we've been crying out to do. We brought in that number 9, like Charlie said. We've been lacking goals. I think in terms of why I think we can win the league, don't get me wrong, I think either 4 of these top teams that everyone's kind of touting for the league, Chelsea, City, Liverpool and Arsenal, could win it. I think there's an argument for all of them. All have done good business, all have strong teams. But in terms of Arsenal, I see a defence that is so solid, conceded the least goals in the league last season, have added to it, like you said, Mosquera is now in there. Calafiori, if he can stay fit, adds Great depth there. Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back. We know Saliba and Gabriel. But we've added Zubimendi to that midfield, who I think is a quality player. I think he's going to unlock Declan Rice a little bit more. I think they'll play more in a double pivot. We saw it against Bilbao. I don't know if you guys caught the pre-season game last week, but it wasn't Declan Rice in a left eight getting forward. It was kind of Declan Rice dropping between centre-backs at times. Zubimendi getting forward. We saw that for the assist for Gyökeres's goal. And Victor Gyökeres, the number 9, or number 14, should I say. But the goal scorer, 102 goals in 97 games across the past 2 seasons. We've been crying out for it. Last season, I don't want to make excuses. We didn't win a trophy. We didn't win the league. But we were ridden with injuries, right? And it goes deeper than people think. Ben White was out for the whole season. He was our starting right back the season before. People forget this. Timber had to come in and play a whole season off the back of an ACL, right? Gabriel tore his hamstring. Tomiyasu was out for the whole year. But Bukayo Saka had an operation. Odegaard had a bad injury and wasn't the same player after it. Havertz had an operation. Jesus had an ACL.
Christian,
go on.
Like, on it, I get all that, and injuries happen in football, right? And that's why these big clubs have such big squads.
100%. Yeah.
Do you think now you've got the number 9, number 14, the pressure is so much on his shoulders from yourselves? Arsenal fans been crying out for a centre forward, but also everyone in football now. So if it doesn't happen and doesn't get you over the line, is that serious pressure on the manager? But how can he handle not putting all the pressure on his centre forward? Because ultimately, everybody in football have been saying, if Arsenal get a centre forward, they can go and get their hands on the title. I'm just not sure how the manager is going to be able to cope with it, or the striker is going to be able to deal with the ultimate pressure from everybody in football.
You know what? I completely agree with you. Pressure's on Arteta more than ever. I've said it's sink or swim right now. I think if he doesn't get over the line this season, we've probably got to move on. I'll still be grateful for what he's done for Arsenal, where he's taken us from and to, but maybe he's not the man to get us over that line. Yeah. In terms of Victor Gyökeres, I don't question this guy's mentality, right? We saw how he forced his way into, I don't want to say forced, but we know he wanted to come to Arsenal. He would have done anything. He took pay cuts. He went on strike. This guy wanted to come to Arsenal. He wanted to be our number 9. And I was at the Bilbao game the other day, and before his goal, he had a big chance. Saka cut it back, and he scuffed it into the floor. And I'm there thinking, this is almost, I don't want to say sink or swim, but we know what social media is like nowadays. You miss a big chance, everyone's on your back. Oh, he's a flop, this, that. And I thought, look, next chance you get, just bury it. And we saw exactly that. He didn't even think about it, got across the man, glancing header. And from then, his game lifted. So I think in terms of his personality and profile, he's perfect. I don't think he's a guy that's going to miss a chance and get nervous and sink. And Arteta has to put that faith in him. And then we have the backup of Kai Havertz as well. There's not pressure on Havertz to be, getting 15, 20, 25 goals a season. But Havertz can come in, like we saw against Bilbao.
You know Havertz is not going to get 15, 20, 25 goals a season, where everybody involved in has been watching.
You say that. He scored 15 last season. He scored 14 the year before.
He's not
last
someone
season
that's going to take you to the Premier League title, though. I understand what you're saying.
No, I agree with that. But you said he's not going to score 15. He scored 15 last year.
But he can score 15, but he's not taking you to the Premier League title. And
exactly. But he's got Gyökeres there now. He can come in as the backup, like we saw against Bilbao. He scored a nice goal.
Montel, you were laughing when Christian was talking about injuries. Montel, you were laughing. Let's don't deny it. Do you maybe not see Arsenal as your main title contenders?
Do you know what? I do see Arsenal as title contenders, but I mean, it wasn't really a title race last season. And again, with what I don't want to be too disrespectful, but at the end of the day, they don't know how to win. There's too many players in football that can put their medals on the table, and unfortunately, those who play for Arsenal who haven't actually come from maybe Chelsea or Man City, they can't do that. Like I see Declan Rice cheesing that Champions League ball for the first time. You're wearing the Arsenal jersey. Do you know what I'm saying? That's no disrespect to Declan Rice. I'm just saying that, like, the mentality there, you have to start winning. I'm not saying the players don't know that, but from a fan point of view, it's just excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. How many more next seasons do you guys have in you? Because I wouldn't have many more in me. I don't know how many more I could do. This is the thing. 22 years or 21 years for a club at the stature of Arsenal, and I'm hearing about injuries. Everyone has injuries. Man City lost Rodri. They actually lost a lot more injuries last season, but you never actually hear about it.
Man City lost Rodri, and look how far they fell. right?
Yeah, but no one.
I'm just saying.
No one talks about. You don't hear City fans talking about that. You hear City fans saying.
You don't hear City fans talking about. I hear City fans talking about Rodri now. Rodri's out again now. He's now got another.
Yeah, he's out again now.
City fans are now pushing themselves down the lead because they've lost their main player. Right? When you lose key players in positions like this, it can make a big difference, right? I don't want to harp on about last season. We're in this season now. It starts tonight. I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I think if I was a Chelsea fan, I could make a case for why I think they will win the league. I could do the same for City. I could do the same for Liverpool. I think this is probably the most exciting Premier League title race we've had, maybe since the Premier League began. I think this team, this league is so strong. I just think Arsenal defensively, I think we've improved the midfield. We've got the goal scorer now. If Saka can stay fit, if key players can stay fit, which is a big if, because these guys are coming off hamstrings, they're coming off bad injuries. But I believe in this team. I think Mikel Arteta is a very, very good coach. I think to become that great coach, he needs to get something over the line. But what he did last season, like I said, with the season we had, we should have performed way lower to still get to a Champions League semi-final, second in the league. I don't think any team does that with the amount of injuries we had. I'm not trying to make excuses. It wasn't good enough. We didn't win anything. I understand that. Right? I'm not saying we are. I'm just saying if we can stay injury free, keep our key players fit, if we then bolster in January as well, which we didn't do last year, which let us down, which people forget, right? Arteta was crying out for attacking players. He was in press conferences saying, we need more goals, we need more threat going forward. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it was the board. Obviously,
hold on, Christian.
Wasn't in by then. But they didn't help him in January.
So, but what happened to
those two things combined in terms of injuries and not doing anything in January really hurt us. Like I said, no excuses. Now is a fresh season, and everyone's going to see what Arsenal are about.
You've said no excuses after making excuses about last season. I feel like if the season goes the same way, maybe not.
It was just facts about our season.
I understand.
How can I make excuses now? The season's done.
All right, facts, excuses, whatever you want to call it. Like for me, I just think winners win and losers explain. And I'm always hearing explanations as to why this doesn't work and why this doesn't work. At the end of the day, I understand you did have injuries and it did impact parts of your season. There's no way you should be going to PSG and Mika Marino up front. I can understand situations like that. But at the same time, there is...
Right, when Gabriel was our best player.
Yeah, I understand that as well. But you also have to understand that you can coach. Like for me, Arteta's style of coaching is starving the attackers of expressing themselves. Saka, who I think is an unbelievable player, is becoming more robotic by the day. It's so robotic. You're talking about the positives of preseason of Gyökeres's one-headed goal. What about the Tottenham performance? It was dry. What about the Villarreal performance? It was crusty. The actual style of play is draining the creativity out of attackers. Odegaard, for me, is a top player, and I'm one of the few rival fans that actually rate him. That actually speaks very highly of a player like that, and he's spinning around like they used to describe Dani Ceballos when he was at your club. Why? Because the manager hasn't given him, for me, the freedom to do what he should be doing, and when everyone was absolutely petrified of you guys in 2023, because the players were allowed to express themselves. So regardless of bringing in the right players, we finally getting a 9, getting Noni Madueke, and again, that one's controversial. All of these things, you can talk about that, but is Arteta going to allow them to express themselves? Is it going to be hoofball? Is it going to be RPG football? Is it going to be what are we actually going to see you play the ball through the lines and supply the players that need to be supplied? Or is it just going to be fossil football? Again, this is...
Fossil football. I actually hear what you're saying. That is a bit harsh. I hear what you're saying. I do think at times last year it was quite methodical. It was quite... almost playing the percentages rather than playing the risk. We saw it with Declan Rice's free kick. He was told to cross that against Real Madrid, whereas he went for the shot and scored.
Perfect example, yeah.
I know what you mean, but then when you come up against low blocks every week, what are you supposed to do? If you're not exposing yourself at the back and leaving gaps for teams to attack you and they're sitting on the edge of their box, how are you meant to try and play in behind or play the ball through the lines?
But Christian, that's where your better players, your attacking players break that down. That's where you spend the money at the top end of the pitch to win games.
But then, Charlie, if we had Mikel Marino up front for most of the last season, what are we meant to do? Odegaard was way off it. The left wing we know has been a problem, right? Saka came back from a hamstring injury. So if you're talking about us going forward last year, our captain, was nowhere near it. Saka had a bad injury.
But that's why we have
Gabriel Jesus and Havertz were out.
That's why everyone has big squads and tries to bring in players. So when someone is injured,
did have a big
you have
squad
that
last
replacement.
And tweaks in system, because there's also tweaking the system, not just keeping it the same as well. There's tweaking the system.
Both clubs have strengthened in order to help that this season. Lads, you've made my job very easy this morning because I just sat there and listened to you. It was like I was sitting at home and watching. Thanks very much to both of you. Good luck to both of you, and maybe you can carry on this argument off screen.